The Entertainer, A Story of Pianos and Perseverance by Maddie Smith. You probably have heard this song before. Popularized in cinema, dance halls, and radio, The Entertainer is one of the most well-known piano songs in America, but not everyone knows the backstory behind it. Even though Scott Joplin is long gone, the king of ragtime affected the music of America in the 1890s and early 1900s by not giving up and continuing to make an effort to be recognized as a publisher and music composer, as a black in an industry dominated by whites. Because of his perseverance, Joplin's music was published and is still alive today as some of the best-known piano music in America. Scott Joplin was born on November 24, 1868, to a father who was previously a slave and a mother who was a maid in a white family's house. He grew up during a time when slavery was still very common and few blacks were free. Blacks were more or less considered animals, work dogs capable of no thoughts or emotions worthy of notice. They were not allowed to vote, own land, or do many things white people were able to do. A black publishing music was very rare, if not entirely unheard of. From a very young age, Joplin discovered he had a talent for music, especially on the piano. His mother took notice and arranged for him to practice in her boss's home. Soon, a German musician named Julian Weiss noticed his work and gave him free piano lessons. His talent flourished, and he began composing his own music. As a young adult, Joplin left home with aspiring dreams to share his work with the world. He played his music wherever and whenever he could. In saloons, honky-tonks, even on a Mississippi River steamboat at one point. Some of his first works were slow-moving waltzes and include A Picture of Her Face and Please Say You Will. It wasn't long before Joplin discovered his true talent style, ragtime. Ragtime is a type of rhythmic music that was popular in the United States from 1895 to 1915. Ragtime is typically characterized by offbeat, up-tempo melodies mixed with a regular beat. Rags were played either on piano or by small bands and became an early influence on jazz. This was the type of music that Joplin was good at. He began writing more and more music in a frenzy, hoping one day his songs would be published and shared with the world. It wasn't long before Joplin attempted to get his music published. A publishing company agreed to publish his first composed rag, unsurprisingly titled Scott Joplin's New Rag. Because he was a black, though, he would not be allowed copyright credit on it, so no one would know that Joplin originally wrote the song. Disappointed, Joplin left the company and canceled the contract. He turned to his piano and composed a new song, Maple Leaf Rag. Scott Joplin was convinced Maple Leaf Rag would be the song to give him his big break. He claimed, "One day the Maple Leaf Rag will make me the king of ragtime composer." His objective was to get others to see that too. This time, he was determined to get it published under his own name. He presented the song to many publishers, trying unsuccessfully to publish it. Anyone he talked to turned his music aside, labeling it cheap, vulgar, and facile black music. Joplin was determined to not give up. He kept looking for potential publishers and finally found John Stark Music Company. He convinced Stark to listen to the song, but sadly was denied yet again. But Joplin wasn't finished. He wanted to show that his songs were not only complex and fun to listen to, they were fun to dance to as well. He hired a boy to dance and arranged another meeting with the publisher. This time, when Stark saw the dancer, he agreed to publish the song. He negotiated a contract that brought Joplin an incredible 1 cent per copy of the song bought. Joplin agreed and rejoiced. He had finally published his first song, after 13 long years of practice and patience. Joplin's song had a rough start when it first aired in 1899, but eventually it took off and people started listening to it. It didn't take long before his music began to be known all over America. Publishers were eager for another song to release, pushing Joplin to compose more songs. He went into a sort of writing frenzy, excited that people were finally accepting and perhaps even enjoying his music. He wrote Peacherine Rag, A Breeze from Alabama, and The Ragtime Dance, to name a few. Eventually, Joplin composed his next well-known hit, The Entertainer. The Entertainer was published in 1902, and it was a nearly instant success for a Stark Music Company. Young black musicians now looked to Joplin for inspiration and guidance, such as Claude Debussy and Antonin Dvorak, and popularity of ragtime began to spread. Even after all this work, ragtime music was still widely considered as a black, artless form of folk entertainment. Joplin was now more determined than ever to prove that black music was just as good as white songs. He wrote still another good 10 to 20 songs, giving them eloquent titles such as The Chrysanthemum, The Heliotrope Bouquet, and Weeping Willow. His work flourished and his songs continued to grow in popularity across America. Joplin lived to see ragtime finally accepted as actual music, and it was not considered vulgar black music after that. Scott Joplin influenced many people during his life, including writing The School of Ragtime, 6 exercises for piano, to teach others how to play the ragtime. His music became the basis for modern jazz music, as well as now known as some of the most well-known piano music in America. The bottom line is, when you hear a Joplin piece, you think America. When you hear The Entertainer, think of one black man and his struggles to prove himself in a white world. Think of his determination to never give up, his passion for music, and his iron will. Joplin truly created a compromise out of a conflict by standing up for himself and enabling many blacks to follow in his footsteps in the future.